Sooner Scoop HD.
Josh McCuistion at SoonerScoop.com here with McAlester head coach Forrest Mazey. Coach, had a great year last year, made a run. I know this year goals are all the same, I think we all know what the goals are for McAlester. But for you guys, I mean, what's it like getting these guys to, kind of buy back in and not kind of buying into some of the hype after a great year last year?
Well, my friend spoke at our banquet, a good friend of mine, a junior college All-American, played college ball with me, roommate, and he told them, complacency is a killer. Complacency will get you beat. Just because you were good doesn't mean you're going to be good and stay good. I think, and Nick Saban said it really good, to be great, it takes what it takes. There's not a lot of shortcuts. There's not things you can do other than the work, what's necessary. And that's why we try to keep them grounded, that just because the team before them did it doesn't mean they're going to do it. They have to put in the same amount of work and the same amount of effort and the same amount of sacrifice because, we've seen it in the past. I mean, that's honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm coaching here is because complacency, and then some kids and some people, and it fell a little bit, and unfortunate things happen, and then, changes are made.
Sure. Now, I mean, you touched on it. I mean, McAlester has, I think people that don't follow Oklahoma high school football don't realize it as much, but I mean, obviously, like a lot of tradition here, a lot of winning.
Yes.
Because it's kind of an out of the way place. I mean, It's not somewhere that everybody goes, but from a guy like me, there's talent usually here, and then from a team perspective, there's been a lot of success. What is it? Something in the water? I mean, what is it that kind of draws people here?
Number one, I think you have to have the right person leading it. I think that's very important for a place like this. Fit.
Yeah.
And once you get a good fit, the kids work hard. They're hard-working families. They're blue-collar. We're Southeast Oklahoma people, and we're not. We like the thought of Metro and things like that. Being in Tulsa and going shopping and having all the Texas Roadhouse right down the road.
Sure.
But it's just a different toughness. It's a different lifestyle. We got kids that hunt and fish. We got kids that go bale hay and work cows, and they do that a lot more on the daily. So it's just a way of life sometimes. And if you got some, and like I said, we're still very cyclical. We're very, very, very much like a small town, not so much like a 5A. So our talent runs in cycles, but if you can ride the wave of talent and make sure the kids that work really, really hard and get what they work for and understand they reap what they sow, then that's a big part of our identity.
And I know from my time covering McAlester, it seems like usually the really great runs are built around one or two. A couple of really great players. Obviously, you've got a talented roster, but there's at least I think one guy is the guy that everybody knows. But being here today, I know there's more. Kind of turning to Erik. I mean, what is it about him that makes him special?
That term we call them workhorses. But with Erik, he is a great, great human being. Number one, he really. I think it's his work ethic. And not so much work ethic as his competitiveness. Man, he loves to compete. He hates losing. We get into a little bickering match sometimes because I won't think he makes a play fast enough on defense, and he finds a way to get there and bat it away, but I'll call it a catch, and because I blew the whistle, and he gets mad about it, and I get mad because he says something. And but a great kid, a great young man, a great human being, but man, he works really hard, and he loves to compete.
Now, we talked about it a little bit through practice today, but you have, a pretty decent idea. I mean, you'd know better than anybody,
right,
kind of what maybe his best future is, what's most likely for him, and what do you see for Erik when he gets up to Oklahoma?
Man, as far as he's got great football instincts, and I like to see him run the ball because I think he's very electric, and I think he could definitely do it at that level. People see, coach, you don't have that breakaway. I definitely think he could do it at that level. But what I see him as is definitely a safety, and depending on what he puts on muscle-wise, maybe an outside hybrid back or a nickel guy. Because he's really good in space. He tackles well. He runs well. He's long. And he's got, like I said, great instinct to find the football. There's some things that he does that you can't teach. He's going to have to fine-tune those things at that level because you can't afford to miss a step. So, but I see him on the defensive side in the back end or as a hybrid guy. And they can play both hybrid, outside linebacker, safety.
Okay. And, like I said, I don't want to make it about one guy. So,
Right.
I mean, I know there's some other talent here. Obviously, today I had a chance to watch Eli Chapman and Malachi Rice for the first time. So, you guys, there's more in store.
Oh, yeah.
Those two guys, and you don't have to go too crazy, but, I mean, just kind of briefly, what is it, that those guys bring to you all and, make you a better team?
Malachi, his length, he's just so long and big, and his feet are so really, for a guy his size, his feet are really good. Dunks the ball about as good as anybody in the state, I think. So his size and athleticism, they do great things for us on the edge and even at tight end. And then Chapman, his length as well at corner and receiver. I think he's pushing 6'2", and weighs, runs like I said, almost a 49-second quarter in track. So he's got very, very good speed, very good acceleration and guts. And like I said, their overall athleticism and size are going to be great things for us. As long as we keep them healthy.
Sure. Well, again, this has been Josh McCuistion of Soonerscoop.com here with Forrest Mazey.
Sooner Scoop HD.